Welcome to the Art Talk podcast, where I discuss the stories that help us accomplish to be better artists as well as better art entrepreneurs. I am Karin Merks, your host, and I'm artist, art entrepreneur, and art coach or teacher. This is episode 12 of Art Talk, and today I have my artist friend Zita Schlegel with me. Man has much power of discourse, which for the most part is vain and false. Animals have but little, but it is useful and true, and a small truth is better than a great lie. Leonardo Da Vinci. Zita Schlegel is a German artist who paints animal portraits, and her work reminded me of this quote of Leonardo Da Vinci because he thought animals had more senses, were faster and more efficient than the human being. I met Zita when I was an art coach in a program that she did, where animal portraits are in high demand, very popular and gorgeous. You can clearly see that her heart is with animals. Welcome, Zita. So nice to have you here with me.
Hello.
I want to just quickly refer to the quote of Leonardo da Vinci. Can you relate to that?
Yes, totally. Totally. And I often think humans are so, narrow-minded because they all think of humans and they forget nature around them. They just forget that all which exists is equal. And they don't even know it, mainly, I guess. And so it's nice to have an Leonardo da Vinci who has good words to say it. Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit about yourself, just for the listeners, and they know where you come from, etc.
Yes, I come from the middle of Germany, countryside. And as a child, I moved a lot. We lived in different countries because my father was a soldier, and so diplomatic course, I learned like that. So I had to move a lot. And then in the end, we stopped at the place of my aunt, which is a farm, and I loved it. I was then 8 years old, the last of all these children. And I love to stop moving, and I love to be on the countryside or surrounded by animals. This was my thing from the first day on. I love dogs, I love everything. And there I could have it. I had it right in front of my door, and this was fine. Horses, pigs, sheep, everything was there. Yeah, and this was my big luck to grow up on a farm. And yes, it had never changed. It's still my dream to have a farm, although I don't have one. But dreaming is so nice, and I can walk there. I'm still on the countryside, but I have not my own farm. Yeah.
And is that also the place where your painting started, your drawing, or your artist?
I can't remember when it started. I think I did it always. And my mother was painting a lot. My grandfather, the father of my mother, was painting a lot, and both of them would have been professional artists if the time would have said it's okay. Mm-hmm. But it didn't. They were not allowed to study it or something like that. They had to do what father or whoever said, so they didn't do it, but they loved to do it. And all my siblings are connected with art too. All of them. So it's really in the family. Although I'm the only professional artist in the family. Yeah, that's.
But you're also a veterinarian. So
yes,
I guess you studied.
This is the same thing. My father died when I was very young, but they said you can't earn money as an artist. You don't do that. It's a hobby, but it's not earning money. It's people don't look up to you, and I don't know, they couldn't imagine as a professional. And so I studied veterinarian, but this was also my case. This was with animals as well, and so it was fine with me. but it was so exhausting. I always was tired with 3 little kids. And I started to paint again. I always started, even during studying veterinarian. I also studied art. I went to the art school whenever I could. I spent a lot of time there. So it's both in my heart. So, and it's much easier to be an artist. It's less exhausting, more fun. Yes, it's good. I can do what I want.
Yeah, I guess so. And how has being a veterinarian helped you with painting your animals? Did you study specific anatomy, or is
Yes,
that an
of course you do.
advantage?
You have to study that, and you really look at them. And we have to make, not practicum as German, in English it's a practical part of the studies.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided not to do it in Germany. It's 3 months. I decided to do it in Kenya.
Okay.
And went there with the veterinarian who was looking after the wild animals. And this was like a game change in my head. So I didn't know these animals before, these wild animals, and I loved them, and I loved to be there. And it was totally different treating. Was not the question of being of the money. It's just helping and doing it, and doesn't matter if you earn something with it. So I really love that. And in that case, there I got to learn an artist there, Astrid. She was living from her art and driving around in Kenya and all these camps. She knew every part of the country, and she took me with her for 6 weeks. We were living in a car and we were painting. So this was really my start of loving Africa and loving these animals. This was so great. I loved it. But then I continued my studies in veterinarian, and then I got these children, and I always painted, but slowly, like a hobby. And when the kids were grown up, like a little bit over 10, I really started again, and then I earned money with it. So
yeah, you took off.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it was interesting because during study, I never had money. I never had a lot of money, so I had to do jobs. And first I did these jobs, and then I found out that painting houses, asking people, shall I paint your house? And they paid me. And I was so much better paid than any job as in a restaurant or whatever. So even there, I earned money with painting. So it's interesting. It was very easy and it didn't feel like work.
No, and that is kind of strange when you're told that you never can earn money with your art, isn't it?
Yes.
And it's
I
more
still
easy for you
it
than
so long time. This was very hard to get out of my head. Once I earned money, I saw it. I mean, I saw it. It's possible. Just do it.
Yeah.
And I'm so lucky. I have a lovely husband, and I'm not alone. So if I wouldn't earn money, I wouldn't be hungry because I have him. And so that's a much easier point than other artists.
I see that a lot. Those who are backed by a spouse financially can relax more into it.
Yes, that's really being lucky.
And
I'm
they
a
don't
lucky
have
person
to
anyway.
Yeah, they don't have to really challenge themselves and hunt for the money, because that's what you end up doing. If you have to pay the bills, then you start chasing, and that doesn't work because everything you chase runs away from you, isn't it?
Yes, but this is interesting because I always, once I earned money, I always reinvested in art, in thinking, and I never believed that I'm poor. Even if it was so, even in times when I had less money, very less money, so I felt rich.
Yeah.
And this is, I don't under, this is a feeling. And this was always wonderful and connected with art.
Yeah. But I think that is very important, because I think that a lot of people feel poor, have a lack-based mindset. And
Yeah.
I think you're lucky, one of the lucky ones who
Yes.
had this naturally already working for them.
Yes, I
levels.
always felt safe. I always said, I will have an idea what happened. Whatever happens, I will go through. I was never worried. So this is really a gift.
That is
very
absolutely
happy.
And a lot of people can learn from that, because that's the mindset that you need to have, as if you already have it. And you can't worry about something you don't know. You don't know.
Yeah.
So you worry about something that isn't even there yet.
Yeah.
And
my
so
mother
that's a waste of your
wrote
energy.
a book when she was like 40 or so, and she always has it with her, and it's How to Think Positive. It's a very old book written in the 60s or so. And she always told us something of it. But even though my siblings are not like me, they are different, and it doesn't help everybody. It's a nature. I'm lucky. It's just good to be as I am. Yeah.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts about the continuing practice and learning once you are an artist?
I think just practice, just do it. Doing. Don't think too much, just do it. And as when artists are young, or you think it's not good enough or so, just go out and show it to people, make exhibitions wherever, in a restaurant, on a fancy fence, somewhere on the street, just outside, and meet people who look at your art. So that way you learn so much, and you get so much response. And that way, by then they didn't understand something of your painting, then you can work on that if you want to. And you see the expressions of their faces, and that's so good to learn. Yeah. And of course, I still have teachers, although I'm painting really, really long. I would never stop making courses, because you always get an input, or get together with other artists, so get a group, so you get an impact from them. And I never stop that. I would never do.
No, I understand. I don't. And it's a lifelong
adventure. And it's in modern times, nowadays, it's so easy, because you have online courses. I how do you say, swap through Instagram, and well, you see that you get so much impact. You can learn from other artists just by looking at the painting. How did they solve that problem? That's so great. It's so easy.
Really, I love that very positive approach, because a lot of the times when I speak with people, artists, they compare themselves to others. So they don't take that as a learning point, but they start to compete. And I personally do not believe in competition. I think everything is symbiosis.
Oh, well, it depends on whom. You should take some who are better than you, so you can learn. Yeah. Or you feel they are better. They're always different. I can't say better or less good. It's difficult to say that. But then you should also look at some really beginners who are not well doing. So then you recognize what you are doing. Or if you start teaching people, you see you already learned a lot, so you can have a kind of proudness, because you see, you can explain, you know what you're doing, and that's so great. And so this is a kind of comparing too, but never only with one. Those you think they are better only. So
no, exactly. But that sounds to me more as a symbiosis than it is as competition. Yeah. So often when we think about animal portraits, we think the pets, like cats and dogs. Yeah. And I know you do them a lot, but you also paint wild animals. What brought you to that? Is that the Kenya adventure you had?
I guess it's Kenya. It's just my love to animals, and I don't feel a difference even if they're ugly. I would like to paint them. It's the life in them. It's the life I'm. It affects me. Yeah, and that's so wonderful. And I started with portraits. Or in the beginning, there were people who told me, "Could you paint a little?" What was not a, I don't know in English. It's not an insect, but as something I would never thought that they want to have a portrait of. And it's a huge painting in oil, although the animal is big like a mouse. So the painting is really like 1 to 1 meter or something like that. So people love their animals, and so they want a painting of it. So that's fun. That's really good.
It
and
is.
It makes it different. It's not always dogs. But it's good to have this basics of cats, dogs, and horses. These are the main animals where I get commissions for. So that's a basic income, and that's a really, really big basic, and it helps a lot to survive. It's good. And
would you do that if someone?
I mainly paint because I just wanted to, and then I hope that people will buy it, and often it happens. So it's good. That's fun.
Yeah.
But there are commissions for wild animals as well. So it could be both.
Yeah. And if someone has an aquarium, fish bowl, and they absolutely love their fish, and they say, Zita, can you please come and make a painting of my fish?
Of course, I would love to do, because I've never had that. So I would love it. Everything new is so exciting. I love to go somewhere where I don't know it. So you have fresh eyes to look at, and it's good. Yes, I would do it immediately.
That's because right. I know there are a lot of people who are crazy about their fish. I know someone who had a big one, and he was even growing the fish, breeding them, and all things with the pH value of the water and what to feed them, and separate the mom from the babies, otherwise she would eat them again. all kind of things, or maybe it was the dad, I don't know. But so I can imagine that someone says, hey Zita, can you please come in or paint my snake?
But I never had a fish commission so far, so now we are thinking of it. It will come.
It probably will. It probably will. Knowing you, next week in our meeting, he will say, yeah, I have a commission for a fish. Yeah. Yeah, amazing. Does your work also entail awareness about the exponential and rapid increase of extinction of certain animals?
Yes, I'll do a lot. Now, I was thinking for years that I could make paintings and then sell them, and had difficulties. And then via Instagram, I found groups who are already doing so much for the animals. So I decided to give them my painting, or the what I earn with the paintings, and they do spread out my paintings. So it's a win-win situation. They get the money and people get to know me. So I really like it. And this is the first time I really feel that I can help animals, because I wouldn't go with a safety vest to watch out for gorillas and being afraid to be shot by somebody or so. This I probably would never do, but paintings are my thing, so I can help with paintings, and they are help with my money. And they're so wonderful, extremely good people who are really going in nature and really have good ideas what to do. The first thing I noticed, there was like a flash in my head when I saw a little notice in a newspaper that a veterinarian in Namibia puts in the nose, in the horn of the rhinos, red color. So you don't see that for the rhino, they look normal. But if the rhino is killed and they try to make powder of the horn, then it's a itchy red thing and they can't use it. And then they put signs everywhere that these rhinos there have this color in their horn. So this is really interesting. And I had to paint a rhino with a red horn. This was so like a flash. And I painted with in the background this very old in the carved this painting of rhinos. So to remind how long they exist, and now in our generation we kill them. They will stop to live. So this is really, really important to do. And I hope my little spot can help a little bit.
Well, I think it does. I mean, yeah, it's important that we can all do our part in that.
And even here in Germany, you can do, I do a little bit because I painted a bee and I made postcards and prints of it, and every postcard, every print, everything I earned from that bee goes to the NABU. That's an organization here, which are building every 8 or 7 kilometers a spot for nature. And this project is spread all over Germany, so I can help them too. That's great.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. Very easy. Yeah, because it's going very poor with bees.
Yes,
and the implication of it is
insects. Yeah,
and the implication of it is huge.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, a lot of people don't realize that, but when there is no bees anymore, then we probably do not have food anymore. It's as simple as that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
as simple as that. Yeah.
Yeah, and what animal would you love to paint that you not have yet painted? And we're not going to talk about the fish.
It's an eagle. It's an eagle. I've never painted an eagle. I don't know why, but this is such a strong and impressive animal, and I've never done it. But there are others, like I think what's in English, betcher, black and white in the forest. Yeah, betcher. I haven't painted them. Oh, I don't know why. I could paint any animal.
We have a family here in the garden of badgers.
Really? In the town?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what they walk. You see them walk with their family. Yeah. I always think about Wind in the Willows.
Watch them. I really and we had our last house was a bit more outside at the edge of the village, and there one lived, and when you went out in the night or when it's going to be night, they wake up and they come out and they are sniffing and they make so funny noises, and I love them. Yeah. And a little bit like beers. It's in between beer and something else. I like them.
And what advice do you have for artists who start out? And I know for sure you have great advice, because I know how you have your
one thing, just exercise and improve your skills. This is one part. And the main, as I said, go out and show it to people. So to have response, and don't be afraid if a painting is not ready or not perfect or whatever. Just do it, and think it's like learning. It's not being punished. It's nothing will happen. The worst thing you could happen is you don't sell it. Well, that doesn't matter. But you always be really sure. You always find somebody for your painting. It may take years, but there's always somebody around the corner who will have your painting, who really, really needs it. And this is a thought you should really bring
embrace.
To your head. There will be always somebody for your art. Don't doubt. Even if you think it's ugly, no problem. They take it.
That's great advice. Yeah. It comes down to never ever give up.
Yeah.
Where can people find you and your art?
Well, of course, at home. That's in the middle of Germany, and you always may walk in if you want to. It's always open. And then in the internet, just Zita Schlegel. If you Google, you'll find me. I have a website, and I'm on Facebook and Instagram. That's always only Zita Schlegel. Very, very easy.
Yeah, very to the point as you are. Yeah, great. Well, thank you all for listening. And thank you, Zita, for being here with me. I highly recommend everyone to follow her on Instagram or on Facebook. Or if you're in Germany, find her and go and visit her, because you need to see her paintings in real life.
It's a lovely area you can visit as well. It's beautiful here, little mountains and a big lake, and Arolsen it's called, Bad Arolsen, my home.
Yeah, and I really appreciate you being here, and I always love talking to you anyway, and your energy. So thank you so much. Next episode, I will discuss the importance of skill and keep improving yourself as artist. If you want me to discuss a certain topic, then please put that in the comments. I speak to you till next week. Bye.
Okay.
Bye. I wish you a very peaceful and productive week. And remember, art is the cradle of your soul. Take care.